Okay guys, so we finally got some fairly decent information that takes us further on the path towards Black Ops 4. You know, we've been up and down with the validity of a bunch of different statements and leaks and, you know, just different theories about what if Black Ops 4 didn't happen or if it did happen. But today, or I guess it was like late last night, we finally got some information from this Nintendo insider, surprisingly, you know, regarding Black Ops 4 and pretty much it being confirmed at this point. So we're gonna go through the tweet, what this industry insider said about Black Ops 4, and you know, when the information is coming from, obviously the validity of this information, and you know, further information regarding Black Ops 4 regarding it being in a modern setting, and also boots on the ground, which is I think fairly obvious at this point. But you know, we're gonna go through all the information within this video, and yeah, so if you can leave a like, that'll be greatly appreciated. Subscribe for more Black Ops 4 videos, and let's get started. So we're gonna put the tweet up on screen again. This is from an industry insider that specializes in Nintendo. So Nintendo Switch and stuff like that. That's really what he does. And you know, there's obviously a reason why he knows this information. Let me just read the tweet here. It's from Marcus. COD 2018 is Black Ops 4 and is coming to PS4, Xbox, PC, and Switch. It is set in modern times and is boots on the ground. The Switch version will support DLC, you know, whatever Switch version. Okay, the reason why he has this information is that, you know, his insider Nintendo contacts are finally coming into sort of contact and communication with Activision and Treyarch developers and advertisers and different industry insiders from that sector, because usually, you know, Nintendo insiders don't have information, you know, like Call of Duty news. That's just not what they do, because Call of Duty, you know, doesn't normally, you know, appear on these consoles, or at least as of late. So now that, you know, Black Ops 4 and this new Call of Duty game finally coming to a Nintendo console, finally coming to the Switch, that's why this Nintendo guy has the information. So pretty solid evidence there, pretty solid tweet. And that's the best evidence we've had so far out of anything that, you know, we're gonna see Black Ops 4. Now let's go into just the information in general of what it says. I also want to go through, you know, he could be reliable for other Black Ops 4 information. I don't want to go and, you know, take this guy's stuff and, you know, say everything he says is true, because again, there are always leaks, there are always different things, it's always sometimes word of mouth, so it may not be exactly what these people say. It may be slightly off and slightly altered, but you can't really change anything like a game title. I think generally it's going to be Black Ops 4, so other than that, you never know what's going to happen. This is the first bit of information, so let's just take what we have here. He talks about boots on the ground. Just to quickly, you know, touch on that, I think that's pretty obvious. I'm pretty sure Activision, you know, I think when World War II came out, they had this whole discussion and they had this whole press release where they talked about, you know, I don't know if the mistakes they made with, you know, exosuits and stuff, but they said they wanted to change things up, and they did exosuits, and, you know, people enjoyed it, and then it didn't work out, or it just got something, I don't know what they said, and then they said, we understand what, you know, people like boots on the ground. And I don't know if they specifically said for the foreseeable future it's going to be boots on the ground, but that's pretty much what they implied. They implied that, you know, boots on the ground is probably here to stay. And I think that's just an obvious case there. Now, in this case, it's going to be mixed up a bit, because you have a modern era, which actually is, I think, going to be cool, because a lot of people with World War II, they want that era, and that was a good time for World War II to release. Like, people were just sick of exosuits, sick of future times, so they just swung it all the way back to World War II. So that was cool for what it was, but I think, you know, rinsing and repeating, you know, these old, you know, Vietnam War, Korean War, World War II, these different wars probably would get stale, and I don't think would work out, and it's really hard to innovate on those old wars. Like, you know, Sledgehammer Games, they did a good job, but, you know, every company can't do that same setting. There's only so much you can do with a war, you know, from however many years ago like that. So a modern era, you know, gives them the chance to actually add some cool stuff and innovate and make a halfway decent game, you know, without limiting themselves and making it so it's like, oh, we can't do this because it's not historically accurate. You know, like the Modern Warfare series, they had the ability to do different cool stuff, but not go overboard because it's not a future game, and not limit themselves because it's not like the 1940s or the 1950s. Like, it's a reasonable time, modern era right now. You know, we have futuristic stuff if the game was set in 2020 or 2030. It's futuristic, not really futuristic enough for it to be insane, or exosuits and crazy stuff like that. Like Black Ops 2 was supposed to be, you know, a futuristic game. Like that was the feel when the trailer came out. When people saw the drones in Black Ops 2, they thought like, oh my god, future. Like that was what people thought was a future game back then. So think about what future is now. So if Treyarch does something like Black Ops 2, or even, you know, Black Ops 3 without the exosuits, or I thought, you know, like the little slight boost jumping that they had in Black Ops 3, like that would be so fine. So I think the modern setting is a perfect medium there. And, you know, obviously Treyarch, they know what they're doing, and they do that stuff the best out of anyone else. So it should be a solid game for what it's worth at that point. Now, again, Black Ops 4, you have pretty much all these different questions. Are they going to continue the storyline? Because I feel like, you know, up until this point, we've been, you know, uneven. I'm pretty sure my last video was literally Black Ops 4 is canceled or something like that, because, you know, we talked about all this information about it not happening and how they want to change things up and they want to have a new IP and this and that. And now at this point, I think it's fair to say that it's going to happen. Activision, they don't want to mess things up. They don't want to say, like, okay, guys, you know, the most successful Call of Duty, you know, sub-series, or the Call of Duty series from a developer, the Black Ops series, why would we end that? Why would you stop that? Obviously, there's never been more than 3 games. You know, it's always been a trilogy, like the Modern Warfare trilogy, the Black Ops trilogy, could have been that. But why would you end it with a series like Black Ops? It's so popular that there's no reason to end it. Unless they really screw up with Black Ops 4, I just can't see it stopping. So you should expect a lot of, not similar, obviously it's gonna have that Treyarch feel, and I don't want to say or hope for anything too similar, because obviously they need to innovate, they need to make the game fun and different and cool, and that's what we want every year. But I still need them to make it, and I think everyone needs Treyarch to just have this Treyarch feel of a game, because that's really what we look for every 3 years. And I'm talking multiplayer, zombies, campaign, I'm talking really in general in this video. There's a specific Treyarch feel that you really see with Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3. I feel like it lost the Treyarch feel a bit, but you still have it there. It's still there. You still know it's a Treyarch game. If they have that, it'll really set it apart from these other games like World War II, you know, especially Infinite Warfare. Like, you're really gonna know that it's a Treyarch game. I just don't know how to put it. Just the color scheme, the way the bullets shoot, the satisfaction of getting a kill. The zombies obviously just is a complete different entity from the other zombies. Not even comparable. It's not even on the same playing field as World War II or Infinite Warfare or anything else that's coming out right now. So there's a whole different thing there. And yeah, let's just hope it's nothing too crazy and nothing too insane. Still has that Treyarch feel, but they innovate. It's a tough task, but Treyarch can do it. Now, one last thing with, you know, what they're innovating, what they're changing for Black Ops 4, which I'll probably make for a different video and actually try to come up with some ideas of, you know, how this would work. And I feel like I have to mention it because it's so prevalent now and everyone's talking about it, like Battle Royale. I feel as if it's almost cringy to think about a Call of Duty Battle Royale, because at that point it just looks like they're doing it for money and they're just doing it because it's popular, and, you know, it may not last and it may just be for this game. For me, it might seem just ingenuine. Like, I don't know. I don't think it would work. Maybe there's something they can do. Maybe it could be different, and maybe it could just work. I don't know. And again, we'll have to do a separate video and really talk about specifically how it would work, you know, how it would be different, or if it would even compare to, like, you know, Fortnite or, you know, Battlegrounds or anything like that. I just don't know if that's the case, if it could live up to that. I don't want it to just be this throwaway game mode. I don't want it to be like another, well, obviously it's going to be a lot better than Free Run, but, you know, Free Run was this cool thing, but, like, you know, it was just a side mode. Like, it really wasn't anything too special. Originally, you know, people thought it was crazy, and then it was just like, oh, it's just, like, wall running stuff. It didn't turn out to be anything. I don't want Battle Royale to be, you know, this hyped up game mode. You see it in the trailer, and then you're all ready for it, and it turns out being just like this little side game mode that, you know, no one really plays, and it's just in the fourth game mode in Black Ops 4 that you really, like, rarely go to. I don't want it to be like the nightmares of Black Ops 4, the nightmares game mode that back from Black Ops 3. Like, I don't want it to be like that. So if they're gonna do it, you know, it needs to be done right. It needs to be done just well. I don't know how else to put it. Because then if they just throw it in, it's just gonna be, it's just not gonna be cool. It's just not gonna be cool. So again, Battle Royale, you know, it makes sense. It's popular, and if it works, maybe it can compete on a new level. You know, you can have zombies, which is a huge market. You know, just in general, a huge selling point for them. Maybe Battle Royale could be another selling point, another huge selling point for Call of Duty. Bring back Call of Duty, bring back Treyarch in the scene, you know, just bring the hype back to this franchise, and maybe it can go on for a while. I don't know. Battle Royale seems like it's the new thing, the new wave in the gaming industry. Maybe it's just the beginning of Battle Royale, so I don't know how else to put it. We'll have to see what the deal is there. I just don't want it to be a cringy, weird thing, and they throw it in. They're just like, guys, get hyped for Battle Royale, and I don't want that to happen. If they're going to do it, hopefully it's actually, like, meaningful, and they actually, like, really want to make it a good Battle Royale game mode, and not just throw it in just for the sake of throwing it in. Because you guys definitely know, like, Activision, if you were Activision and you saw Battle Royale popping on YouTube and you're just like, yo, let me get in on that, I want that money, like, you'd be thinking like that too, but you want it to make sense. As a fan, as a player of Call of Duty, you want it to just work and actually, like, you know, be fun and enjoyable, and, you know, I don't know. That's all you can ask for, really. That's all you can ask for in a Call of Duty game. So we'll see if the deal is there. Again, I'll make a different video talking specifically of what they would do and what the mechanics would be and compared to Fortnite and all that cool stuff. So we'll see what the deal is there. But that's really what the Black Ops 4 right now. You know, as it looks like as of now, it's happening. Black Ops 4, it's gonna be a thing. Black Ops 4 Zombies is gonna be a thing. So, you know, gonna probably have a lot of cool different videos talking about Black Ops 4 and what's gonna be occurring with that and what we should expect in the near future. That's really it. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, leave a comment below BO4. If you are watching the whole video up until this point, it's obviously greatly appreciated, because watching, you know, 12 minutes of me speak, that'd be pretty weird. I wouldn't be able to do that. So if you guys can do that, that's appreciate that. Thank you. So leave a comment below BO4. I'll thank you guys in the comment section below, and that's really it. See you guys later. Goodbye.